Mike here with another one of my orienteering videos. This time I went to a different kind of orienteering event called the Billygoat. This was the 43rd year running. This year it was at Willowbrook Forest in Ashby, Massachusetts. The main difference between this event and others is that it's a mass start and a long race. So the main Billygoat race was almost 12k, which was going to be too long for me given my knees and stamina. They did have a shorter race called the Kid Goat, which is the one I did, and at 5.8k that was going to be long enough for me. And here we are walking to the start. Today was Mother's Day, so there was a photo op for the mothers. There are a few special rules for the Billygoat, and here's the event director, John Campbell.
Billygoat is a little special, and I wrote these rules right on your map in big purple letters underneath the clues. So when you're sitting on a rock out there crying, you can remember what I said. First of all,
yeah, don't go to that control. You can't fly.
This is a mass start race, and following and collaborating are not only allowed, they're explicitly encouraged. Special things for just the goat. You have a fork. You can choose to go the left side or the right side. You can skip any one control. If you skip two controls, you'll be an F. The strangest rule, and it comes from our shadow sponsor, Blue Star Complex, is that microwave ovens are allowed. And the reason that's a rule is, by corollary, exception to the IOF and OUSA rules, that also means that GPS watches are allowed. So that's why microwave ovens are allowed. My final bit of wisdom is I still love you all as friends, and I'm in the best Billygoat tradition. I'm very, very sorry. And with that, 5, 3, 2, 1, begin.
Thank you! Here's the map with the long Billygoat course, the one I didn't do in case you're interested. And here's the Kid Goat course that I did. Being a mass start means it's a bit like a relay race first leg, and I used to be a first leg specialist runner. Brought my team, London Orienteering Club, back in 3rd place in the British Relay Championships one year. It seemed pretty clear to me that you were going to go to the main path and up to this junction here. But then the question was, do you go left doing something like this, or do you go right? And I decided to go right, which was not what most of the people chose. I originally planned to go off the trail here and go try and find these 2 small hills on the way to the control. But when I got there, I thought, well, maybe that's a bit too much running in the green. I want to carry on the trail a bit longer, and the plan was to do something like that. Here's a different route the 5 people who marked their routes for the Kid Goat did, and you can see that a number of them did go to the right, but I was the only one who went the way that I went. And here's what happened with the main Billygoat that had the same control, and you can see the vast majority of them went in a different direction, which pulled, I think, a lot of the Kid Goat runners away from the route that I went. Alright, let's take a look at some of the route video. And off we go. Now let's speed up the video because it's just a straight path run as I figure out what I'm going to do. Along with all the masses, here we go. Sorry if my head's down a little bit too often, so it's a bit hard to see from the video what's in front of me. But I keep looking at the map. Coming up to the junction, see everybody's turning right here, pretty much. I'm falling behind a bit because I'm not running particularly fast. A lot of people going to the left there, but I carry straight on. And I'm thinking, as I said, that I'm looking to go left pretty soon. About here, but then I decided I don't want to go through all that green, I want to stay on the trail a bit longer. So let's do that. Coming up to the next junction, at which point I have to be a little bit careful now, so I'm slowing the video down a little bit. I want to be sure that I can spot the feature on the left, looking for the rocks just after that little knoll. And that looks like it. Yep, there's some rock features there, so in we go. At this point I'm starting to look for the depression on the right. I think that's what it is. Not convinced I saw it. Working my way through the green, as you can see it's quite difficult to see any distance in the woods. And I am hoping that I will hit these rocks and more open woods and be able to spot where I am at that point. Should be getting there soon. Here we see some rocks, so I'm very comfortable with that, and you can see the forest is more open, so I think I'm at this point, which I am, so I'm heading straight to the control from here. That's what I hope I'm doing. Saw the boulder on the left there. Should see the control soon. Would expect to catch up and see some other people there. And yep, there we are. I took a quick look at going towards the left on Route A, but it looked too green, didn't look very good route choice, especially given if you go to the right, there was a trail that led down, so that's the way I chose to go instead. Okay, so here we are leaving the control, and I'm just going to go in a sort of a straight line to the trail, hoping that I'll find it. Few people going in this direction, people going in all sorts of directions. So they must have overshot the control or come in a completely different way. And here we are on the small trail. Now, when I get to this point, I'm extremely careful because at a big race on this map previously, I was at this point, I could not find that small trail down that I'm trying to get onto, and I lost like 10 minutes at a control because I went down a completely the wrong path. So I'm desperately trying to find this trail, and I think, well, got to go in the woods at some point here. Hopefully I'm in the right place. I know I'm generally in the right place, but where is that trail? It's a very small one, and eventually I do pick it up, but as you can see it's pretty small and indistinct. So I just follow it down the hill through the green and kind of hope that I can navigate my way towards the control once I get to the rocky areas, which we're just about to come up to. So here we are. Maybe we'll slow down the video as we're getting closer to the control. So I know pretty much where I am. Not sure exactly which boulder that is, although I do make the right educated guess. And it's at a point like this where you can use other people if you're careful. If you might spot somebody who's coming out of a control as they make a quick change or stop and bend down, they might be bending down to punch the control. So I just keep going because I know I'm not quite far enough, but I think I'm pretty much there. I think this is the sort of the crag that I'm about to go by, and it looks like everybody's congregating down there, and it does look like that's where the control is, and indeed it is. So I was fairly pleased with doing this leg in the end. It was pretty clear you were going to end up on this long trail. The question was how to get to it. And I took a look at going straight on Route A and also going around the trail on Route B, and I decided to go around the trail, although that was actually quite difficult to follow, being very rocky, so I'm not convinced it was the best way. It was longer and I thought it would be faster, but I think probably going straight on Route A would have been better. Okay, so here we are leaving the control, going down the hill to the trail with a bunch of people. And hoping for a nice smooth ride on the trail. Should be getting to it. Here it is. And as you can see, looks like a nice trail. Moving along here at a nice pace. But then what I hadn't really recognized was that this trail was going to go over some rocky areas and it was starting to get pretty rough, so it got to be very slow going here. And it was at this point that I started thinking, well, maybe I should have gone in a straighter direction and not taken this trail. But I was committed, cut the corner off a little bit, and now we have some really easy trail running. Hopefully I'm looking at my map while we're doing this to see what's going on. I do have to figure out, we go left here on this trail, I do have to figure out where it is that I'm going to leave the trail, and I can spot some boulders on the side of the trail that I think are a good way to lead me into the hilltop and the control. So keep going along, start to get there, and then it all goes horribly wrong. I spot a boulder. Let's take a closer look at the map. See where I am on the map here? Well, I think I'm here at this boulder, and what that means is I confuse all these small hills. So I get to this small hill but think I'm at that one, and you can see what happens. It's going to go horribly wrong. So here I am at a small sort of rocky hill, thinking I'm in a good place, and the control is just going to be down here, isn't it? So where's it gone? I do sometimes have difficulty seeing controls. I'm slightly red-green colorblind, but I kind of feel like I've gone far enough. Now I'm just doing a little bit of thrashing around, which you should never do. So after some of that, I go down to the trail. I have to give up, get to the trail, relocate, try and figure out what's going on. So here I am on the trail. Now I just have to figure out where I am on the trail. And you can see that there's a slight bend to the right of the trail. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Well, it is what I'm looking for. Looks like that might be it ahead. So I'm going to speculate that that is what it is. And then I go in to the woods and I should go to the control. So I should be able to recover the situation, having lost a few minutes. So I go in, but I go slightly to the left, and you'll see that I go very close to the control. Maybe if I had better eyesight, I might actually have spotted it off to my right there, but I missed it. Wasn't there, so I start to do a bit more thrashing around. It's got to be here somewhere. And it kind of feels like it's going wrong again. It's just not visible. So I have to give up again. Go back to the trail, relocate again. Oh, came pretty close to it there. It's just off to the left, Mike. Go on, go on. You should be able to find it. Nope, can't see it. So back to the trail we go. Here we are again. I still believe that that is the right bend in the road. Well, eventually I'll decide that it is. So go into the woods, go in carefully, and this time when I come across this sort of clearing, I feel pretty good that this must be that white area on the map, and that I finally will find the control this time. Last time when I was going in, I was just off to the left, and there is the control. A bit hard for me to spot, but I eventually see it. I lost 6.5 minutes doing all of this. Get out to the trail and then get to this point, but do you go straight in from here, or do you carry on the trail a little bit longer, which is what I did. and then went straight in from the sort of small hill I could see. 4 to 5 was just go straight and navigate to the control. Alright, so coming out of 3, I know my way back to this trail very easily. And here we are, back on the trail at a point I've been to many times before, having messed up that third control quite badly. So, at least we can do a bit of basic trail running now. Here we are at this junction here. Just need to make sure I know where I'm going to exit this trail to the right to get into the woods to get through to the control. Could go in from about here, but I do decide that I'm going to go further on down the hill and pick up that little sort of knoll area on the right, and that's going to be my attack point to go into the control. Still a little bit risky because even if I take a direct route now on a compass bearing, there's quite a lot of greenish woods, as you can see, to get through. Wasn't too bad going. And I was able to spot this hill, so I've used that to guide me into the control, which should just be coming up in a moment. Pretty subtle contour feature on the map just for entrance. Come on, Mike, get over these dwarfs. Ah, you're letting everybody get in front of you now. There's the control 4. And straight compass bearing towards 5. Just going to go off down the hill to the stream at the bottom, across the stream, and sort of work my way sort of around a green area up the hill. There's a depression coming up, and I was wondering if I could spot that. And sure enough, I believe that's it off to the right there. So it wasn't very far to get to the control from there. Although it was through some green stuff, so the visibility wasn't great in terms of being able to look in front. But there we are, there's the control. Nicely executed, much better than the previous control going to number 3. Start by just heading north without worrying about the navigation, just get onto the road and then possibly take the trail on Route A, which is what I thought I might do, but decided it was a little bit tricky, and once I got to the road I just wanted to carry on, get around the corner and then go into the control from there. 6 to 7, could go straight but looked like a bit too much green running, so I just went to the left a bit, get onto the road and then cut through the woods. Okay, here we are, leaving number 5. Just want to go pretty much in a straight line to the road. Doesn't matter where I am. Oh, it looks like these people have missed the control and are coming back into it. I'm sure they'll find it. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter exactly where I am here, as long as I'm going in a straight line towards the road. I don't need to know exactly where I am because I'm going to come across the road and make a right turn. And here's the road. And I'm just going to, not even sure why I looked left then, because I knew I was going to go right. Off we go. Being overtaken by a fitter competitor than me. Get to the corner, just go around the corner, and then I'm going to go in this white part of the map. It should be clear running or walking or slow jogging, whatever it is I'm doing. Looks like I'm walking there. Just keep going in the same direction. Gets a little bit greener. but I've got a good line to the control. And even if you miss this control, there it is, you'll be able to relocate on the road very easily. So just come out of it towards the road, and here's a group of runners who did miss it, and they're coming back to it. And I believe those are billygoat runners mostly, as I saw some of them on the route they did, and somebody was coming back. Now just cutting off through the campsite. It's going to be easy to find this next control because it's by a building, by a road, and there it is, and there's some water and Gatorade that I can drink.
Okay, good, thank you. Water on this table, Gatorade on the one there. There's water.
So you would start out by getting to this point, but then what do? Do you try and go straight, which looks very difficult navigational wise? No, I didn't want to do that. So go up to this point, but then what do? Do you try and cut through the woods? Again, very difficult navigationally. So I just went straight up the hill on Route C to the trail, picked up the trail. The only challenge then was, where do I cut off the trail? And I thought I would figure that out as I got nearer there. After the race, I did talk to somebody who went all the way to the left on Route D. At least I think that's roughly what she said she did. So what would you have done?
Okay, punch first.
So after getting some water, time to get going again. Down this trail to the open area. And guess what? I make a little bit of a mistake here. Starting to go down the wrong trail. Oops, I think I realized what's going on. Yep, that was a bit annoying. That person obviously took a better route. So now we're going along this trail roughly to the corner when we're going to go through the woods. So here we are approaching where I want to cut off. Just going to look for a spot to start going through the woods. And I don't need to navigate very carefully through the woods here because I'm going to hit that other trail. And then I know I'm going to turn left when I get to the trail. So it's just a matter of getting through this as best I can. And it is a very steep climb. So very slow going. I normally go pretty slow these days anyway, but this was exceptionally slow. Bit of a drag. But had to be done. There we are, made it to the trail. Turn left. And off we go. Getting overtaken again. Oh no. And there's Pia, she's coming the other way. She's already ahead of me by quite a bit now. So I just about recognized going into this green area here, and the thing is, I'm going to zoom in on the tracker on the left there. It's a bit difficult to figure out where to leave the trail. There's some people there. Don't know how confident they are. I'm speeding it up a little bit here. I do decide that I think I know where I am, given the rocky areas on the right. Which means I'm going to go into the woods here. They don't seem too sure. There's quite a lot of people around. I was fairly confident in the direction I was taking. So, well, I stopped. So I guess I wasn't that confident. But see, I'm going in pretty much the same straight line. Speed it up a little bit. Keep going, keep going. And See some rocks. I think I know where I am. Not sure if everybody else does. Maybe they're trying to find it, maybe they found it. Looks like it's just down here, and there it is. Back up to the trail and then along it, but what do you do at this point? You could go right to stay on the same trail for a bit more trail running and go around that way, maybe even cut the corner there, but I decided to go left up to the other trail and then follow that trail, and a number of other people did that. So after punching Control 8, it's time to go pretty much back out the way I came, back up to the trail. So it's a bit of a slog through the rough stuff. I think those people might be doing the longer Billygoat course, not Cooper. Here we are back on the trail. Now, do I have any energy to run along it? Yeah, a little bit. There we go. Looking for a place to cut across. This will do. I was looking for this white forest, a little bit more open. I'm going to the green, just getting up to the next trail. Here we are, and I'm going to turn right, and I've got a long trail run on this. I'm pretty tired by now, but able to run a bit, and run a bit more. Here we come to the junction, and I should just be going straight across. Just get in the woods, contour along, use the compass bearing. Let's just speed this up a bit. And the city's rock feature on the left there, I recognise that on the map. As I live near the control, so I thought that was pretty close here. And yep. It was, because there is the control. After realizing this was a wall and not a trail, I followed the trails to this point here and then just went down the stream and picked up the next trail into the control. Afterwards, I did realize that somebody went to the left, but she said it was pretty messy going, but it does give you a different set of options for trail running. Alright, coming out of night, it basically comes around the hillside through the green stuff to get to the next trail. It's fairly thick going along here, as you can see. And a relief at finding the trail eventually. Time for a bit more running. Keep going to the trail junction and then take a left turn. Here we are. And this is going to be a long, boring trail run. I looked behind me at one point there because this was a mass start. I couldn't see anybody anywhere near me in front of me and couldn't see anybody anywhere near me behind me, which meant I guess I didn't need to push it too hard anymore because I wasn't going to catch up with anybody, and I was hoping nobody would catch up with me because I'd be quite a way behind me. So back through the start area, much quieter than it was at the beginning of the race. Now I'm going to go down the hill, down the ditch, through some green woods. And I hope that it's not too rough to get through. And it wasn't too bad. This looks like it's going to be rough, but it wasn't too bad. I just couldn't run it because I was just too tired. Make it onto the trail, and then from the trail corner just cut through the woods. This was very open, visible here. And there were these green sort of patches just off to the right there that you can see. They were pretty visible, so it wasn't too difficult to find my way to the control. And there it is up ahead. Was going to go out to the trail, and then initially I thought I was going to go around the trail to the stream junction and then in from there, but in the end I decided I was just going to go straight and work my way through the green. And then 11 to the finish was basically going a straight compass bearing. Right, coming out of 10, sort of back the way I came. Just head straight in the compass bearing to the trail. There's a boulder on the right that I could see, so I could see where it was. Just crossing the trail, just going to look for a cleanest way to get into the woods the other side. I decided here that I wasn't going to take the trail going around to the left. I was just going to forge my way through the woods, but it was a little bit darker green than I would have liked. Get over the stream here. And then I figured I should be able to use the green vegetation on the right as a way to lead me into the control. That looks a bit green there. Just speed up the video a bit, I'm not really running that fast. And there's the control at the end of the wall. Okay, now to go to the finish, I was just taking this sort of straight bearing, but I did go off direction a little bit. I think I was kind of forced off by some of the vegetation. Down to the trail. Don't know why I looked left, because I know I'm going right here. So just get going, Mike. Come on, just go right. And the finish is just down the hill there. One more hill on my dodgy knees. See and hear the finish below me, and then the battery died because I was out for too long. If only I hadn't made that mistake at control 3, I'd have had the film of the whole event. Overall, I was pleased with how I did. It was a very enjoyable event. The weather was glorious, and thanks to John Campbell and all the rest of the New England Orienteering Club crew for putting on such a wonderful event. See you next time.